Okay, welcome to lesson 4, Transforming Artwork. In this particular lesson, we're going to be learning about artboards, and we'll be working with rulers and guides and how to position objects. We'll learn how to move, scale, and rotate objects using different operations. We'll learn how to reflect, shear, and distort objects, as well as using the free transform tool to distort an object, and then also aligning and positioning objects with the smart. So as you see here, this is our start file, and this contains one artboard presently and a number of different graphics down here that we're going to incorporate to look like this end product here. So the first thing you'll want to notice is if you haven't done so yet, you can also go to your workspace and go to Essentials. But if your artboard isn't showing, panel isn't showing, you can find it here in the drop-down menu, window menu. So anyways, we have one artboard going right now. And you can see it's labeled up here at the left, Artboard 1. And there's a couple ways that we can create artboards. We can do so by using the artboard tool and dragging and drawing an artboard. So that's what we're going to do first. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw an artboard that's approximately 6 inches by 3.5 inches. And it doesn't have to be perfect, just so it's in shape. So it's close to what our measurements should be. And then we're going to create a third artboard, and we go over to the artboard, and you can see I have artboard 1 and 2 now. And down here, this little page with the little dog here on it says New Artboard, and I'm going to click on that. And you'll notice that I created a new artboard, and it's going to default to the size of the last artboard I created. So I'm just going to drag it over here to the left. And so now I have my 2 artboards. Now, if our control panel isn't showing here, so let's get that up. Okay, so now you see we have the 3 artboards here, and we got the control panel up here. And you'll notice that we're on Artboard 3 and it's highlighted. And this is where I can go in and change the dimensions here. Now, one thing you want to remember that there's this little, looks like a paper clip here. And this will allow you to constrain your width and proportion or not constrain it, okay? And so I'm going to have it on not constrain, and I'm just going to make this 3.5 right now. And then this one, it's 6. Okay. And that's another way that you can go in, and I could go ahead and go to Artboard 2, and notice when I double clicked, it actually zoomed me in onto Artboard 2. And if I go back to the Artboard tool, again, I could change that to 3.5. And I could change this to 6. So you notice there's just a number of different ways that you can work with these operations. Now I'm going to zoom back out here, doing Command minus, and we have our 3 artboards there. Now we can do change the proportions by also selecting our Artboard 3. So I'm going to go ahead and show you another way where we can actually change the size, because we want to take this artboard here and we are going to actually make it to the size of our main board there, so Artboard 1. And you'll notice I'm on the Artboard tool, and so now it gives me the selection. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just drag it down until it becomes the same length as the other artboard. And then I can hold down my space bar and click on Artboard 2, and you notice that the bounding box comes up there. And again, I can bring this down to the same size as well. So we'll go ahead and zoom out a little bit here and go on to the next operation. And we're going to work with some editing here. Actually, but the editing that we're going to be doing is we're going to actually rename the artboards here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go on to my artboard 1 and double click on that, and notice we zoomed in again. But what I want to do is call this inside. So this is our inside artboard. And then I'm going to go to the next one and double click artboard 2. And we're going to call that back. And then artboard 3, we're going to call front. And then we'll go ahead and zoom out. And now you can see that they've actually named, the artboards are now named inside the dialog here. Okay, so now we want to work on transforming some of the content, and we're going to work with rulers and guides. Now, if you go up to the view panel, you'll see rulers are here, and I could hide rulers. The command to show the rulers is Command R. Okay, and you'll notice that these rulers have just shown up on the upper part of my work area and then the left part of my work area. Now I'm going to click on the left artboard, which we have named front, which we're already on it. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my layers palette. And it isn't up, go ahead to window. Okay, my apologies if I repeated. I repeat again what I'm going to say right now. I just deleted a little bit of the portion of video here to start over. But we're going to be talking about working with rulers and guides, and of course this is going to help us place and measure objects. And they appear at the top and the left in the document window, and they can be shown or hidden. And right now you can see that we don't have any rulers showing. You can go to the view and find the rulers there, or you can go Command R to show the rulers, and Command R will take them away again. Okay, and there are two types of rulers in Illustrator. You have your artboard rulers and you have global rulers. The artboard rulers are the default rulers that you are seeing right now, and basically it sets the origin of the ruler at 0 and 0 at the upper left hand corner of your first document on the left. Okay, and you can see as you go along here, all the documents just continue to fall underneath that ruler. However, if you click on one of the artboards, you'll notice that when it becomes active, that the ruler has now defaulted over here to this second artboard. And that's kind of nice when you're working with trying to align objects on the various artboards. So first thing, we'll go ahead and we're going to click on the front artboard, and we are going to work with the rulers here. Okay, so next we're going to talk about transforming content. And these are all the operations that you're going to be doing to move, rotate, and reflect and scale, distort objects. But to do so, you also want to be able to work with the rulers. Now, if you notice on my work area here, you can see the ruler up on top and on the left. And you can get to rulers by going into your view to show rulers. The easiest way to do it, of course, is to go Command R, which will either get rid of the rulers or show the rulers. Now, one thing I want you to remember too, if you lock the rulers, which I'm going to have you do in a second, you then the ability to be able to, or lock the guides, the ability to make them active will not be there. So just in case you find that the guidelines are coming out in that cyan blue, you're going to want to make sure that you definitely unlock the guides here. So anyways, what we're going to do is I'm going to hold down my shift key and I'm going to hover over the left ruler here. And the reason I'm holding my shift key is I'm going to bring it to the 1 inch, and it automatically locks onto the measurement increments, okay? And now you can see that I have the red ruler, or the red ruler guide, and that means it's active, and I can actually change the placement of that. So with the guide still selected, I could take it, and you notice I'm at just a little bit over 1 inch here. I'm going to go ahead and put this at a 0.25. And you notice how the guide moved over to the left. So this is a way that you can get that perfect measurement if you don't quite get it when you're dragging it down from the ruler. And then I'm going to drag another one down to 2.5 as well. And again, you can see that I don't have it right at 2.5, so we're going to go down here. And 2.5. Okay, and notice it's red and it's active right now. So once we get that positioned, we'll go ahead and zoom in and take a look. And you'll notice though that because my 0 is up here, of course, I can see the 2.5 up there, but it's going to be looking different on the axis as far as the left-hand part of my document there. Okay, so I'm just going to take the magnifying tool and we'll zoom in here, and you can see that I'm at 1/4 of an inch here and 1/4 of an inch over here as well. Okay, then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually create a different alignment here, and I'm going to go up to the corner here. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be setting this so that my 0 on the left-hand ruler is also on the XY axis. And now you can see that I have 0 here and 0 there for my document. So we'll go ahead and fit this into our page again. And then the next thing we're going to do is we are going to, we'll go zoom out, and I'm going to go into going to Artboard 1, which is the middle one here. And I'm going to select V on my keyboard, which is a selection tool. And I'm going to select this text, All City. And what I'm going to do, it's actually all in white. And I am going to grab this group of text and bring it down and align it there to my guides. Okay, so once we get going with that, now we're going to look at positioning objects more precisely. And what we're going to do next is we're going to click the artboard with the guides on it again. So that's the front. And we've got the All City there. And we are going to then click on the selection tool, but we want to make sure we have 0, 0 showing right here. And then I'm going to zoom out a little bit, just because I'm going to be bringing up this lower left-hand graphic into my artboard there. Okay, so I'm going to click on this artboard here, or graphic I should say. And then what we're going to be doing is we are going to position this up onto this artboard right here. And so I'm going to go back into